Hey everyone, C. Wilson here. So, jumping straight to it, you clicked on the video because you want to advance your anatomy skills when drawing. You want to make these advancements quickly. So, the easiest way to do that is with spaced repetition. So, to summarize what spaced repetition is, it's a form of memorization to store content that you've been studying indefinitely in your mind. You may ask yourself, why is this actually even important when it comes to drawing? Well, it's very simple. The best artists store references in a library within their head so they can pull from it at any time and manipulate it while it's in their mind, no longer needing to look at references all the time. So, with having this reference stored in their head, they're able to pull from this, making it much easier to draw actually and draw things from their own imagination from using the references stored within their head. At first, this might sound very complex, but in reality, it's not. It's all about when artists would tell you to get better, you should practice, but they never tell you how to practice. This is the way you should practice for spaced repetition. So, first starting off, I suggest looking at dynamic poses, just dynamic poses in general. Now, it doesn't matter what part of the body you draw, you can draw the full body, some of the body, the arm, leg, nose, whatever you want to draw. Now, I say draw this for about 30-40 minutes, every body part that you can think of while you're looking at these references. Fill the page, and as you're filling the page, think about it. Store it in your memory. How did this look? How did the arm look from the front? How did it look from the back? Draw a different way. How was the foreshortening used? Draw it another way. Draw the head this way. Draw these dynamic poses because they cause your brain to think harder when you're drawing. Now, when you're doing this, you're causing your brain to really think about what you're doing. In this way, you take a break, and when you take that break, you allow your mind to cement what you learn with, like, it just is sitting there storing itself. Now, don't stress about it. Take a break, maybe even a day break. Go back to it. Draw the dynamic poses again, and you continue to repeat this, taking breaks in between. It could be 40-minute breaks, it could be an hour, it can be half a day. You can draw it the next day. Just don't stop drawing. And as you're doing this, what you're causing is for your mind to slowly start memorizing how these body parts and how anatomy, how the structure works in the human body. And as you're breaking it down and you're drawing these, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to draw an arm. It doesn't matter if it takes you to draw an arm 30 minutes, because the more you understand the structure of it while you're taking your time to figure out how it works, and you speak to yourself, you start to break it down in a way that only you can understand. And once you have a better understanding, you can manipulate it. Think about when you actually write your own, when you're writing the alphabet or when you're writing the letter A. As you grow up, you learn to write an A a specific way, but you remember what that A looks like. And now you no longer need any guide or reference of what an A looks like. You start to create your own A. And that's what we're doing right now, where I'm trying to get you to understand that when you start to hard code these things in your mind of anatomy, you have the best reference, which would then be your mind. You can then change. You can change the way things look within your mind because you have a vast amount of knowledge cemented in your mind. Using this type of technique can truly help you when trying to make those advancements where you see that there's other artists that are leaps and bounds ahead of you. This is your way of closing the gap in a short amount of time. And with closing that gap, you just practice this. With spaced repetition, you're cementing everything, like I've said before, and storing it in your mind. So when it comes down to it, you no longer need those references. You may use it to brush up on certain things, but now you're starting to pull this information at will, making it easier for you to draw. And keep in mind, this also works for animation as well. This is a very big thing when it comes to animation. Being able to quickly draw these different animated sequences requires you to pull from memory to understand how to convey a story. And as long as you know how to convey the story with body poses and postures, you have that vast knowledge of references stored in your head, making it easier for you. And if you're able to do that, it makes things so much easier. So what I would say is, during this time, make sure you practice and space it out to give your brain time to relax and store that knowledge of drawing over and over and over again. And once that's stored, go ahead, pick up the pencil again and draw it again until it's encoded into your mind. And for now, actually, this will be the end of the video. I'll continue to let it play out until you see the full drawing that's done. For what I was doing for my spaced repetition, I took small breaks in between and would come back to it throughout the entire day. And this is how I practice my anatomy. So if you like the video, thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification icon. And if you have any questions, just drop a comment down below as well. And peace.